Good evening and welcome to the school committee meeting of Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. We are on Tuesday tonight because we thought we would be going to attending a award ceremony for Jefferson School, and because of all that's going on, it is either not happening or postponed, or Jefferson's award will just come to them in the mail. So we're here tonight. So we'll get right started with the acceptance of the minutes for the school committee meeting of April 27th, 2020.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Emily, second. Okay, I'm going to roll call vote all. Mr. Phelps,
Favor.
Mr. Mills,
Favor.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
and I also, so that's 4. So that's a vote. Thank you. Nothing under correspondence or under audience, so we'll move into the superintendent's report. Dr. Cron.
Thank you very much. On April 15th, for those of you who missed it, the Spelman Oratorical took place remotely. And I'd just like to congratulate Carol Cahill, who is the department head for English at the high school, for putting that together, for the persistence that it took to make that happen remotely. I'd like to congratulate Laura Glennon, who won first place, Tyler Gambon, who won second place, Sarah McClellan and Ashley Gallagher, who tied for third place, and Karen Dalton and Neely Dunn, who tied for fourth. So congratulations to them. And again, congratulations to Mrs. Cahill for being persistent in making that great event take place, even though we are not in school right now. The second thing, I'd like to just sort of reach out to students and talk to students for a second. We have only 4 weeks of remote learning left for those of you who are underclassmen, and I'd like you to think about this in 2 ways. First, there's the work that your teachers are asking you to do, and that's a given. You should do that work. Your teachers are working hard to stay in touch with you, and you're working hard to complete the work that they're asking you to do. I recommend that if you haven't done it already, that you find a particular time of day that you do your work. I think that's helpful. But second, perhaps most important during this time, aside from the schoolwork that your teacher is giving you, I am imploring you to pick something that you love to do and do it every day. If you're a writer, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a carpenter, if you're a painter, whatever you do, find something and do it every day, and look back 6 months from now and say, look what I did with this 6 months of time that I have. Personally, I've committed to practicing my trombone every day, and I do it every day, and I set my clock and I have my timer and I make sure that I do it. And at the end of 6 months, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be better. I'm going to be almost back to where I used to be able to play, because I'm going to put in a little bit of time every day. So I'm really recommending to students that you use this very strange time that we are living in. Pick something that you love to do and make sure that you do it every day and get better at it and be able to look back and feel a sense of accomplishment during this time. That's my rant for the year, and now I'm moving on. Budget schedule. We're going to talk more about the budget later, but I'd just like to bring up that due to projected shortfall on the state level, we're on a very tight budgetary timeline. The school department needs to alter its budget because the budget from the state has come down and the budget from the town is going to come down to the schools. So currently, Jane, Colleen, and I are working with the principals and Linda Maniglia to prepare a balanced budget. And the town needs to pass a balanced budget by June 8th. So I am proposing to the school committee that we have an additional meeting next Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30 p.m. And I'm asking for it at 5:30 p.m. The Board of Selectmen actually has a meeting also on the 19th, and I believe theirs is at 6:30 or 7. So I was just trying to have it a little bit earlier. So I'm recommending that we have a special meeting next Tuesday so that I can lay out for you our plan for meeting the budget shortfall that we're facing for FY21. I'd like to be able to lay out a full plan to you, and we're going to need an extra meeting. The schedule, the Board of Selectmen meets on the 19th, and then the FinCom, the Finance Committee, is meeting on the 20th. we need to vote our final budget at the May 26th meeting. So just a reminder, the way that day goes, the 26th, we will have a finance subcommittee meeting at 5:30. We will present to the community at 6:30, and then begin our regular school committee right after, meeting right after, which is what we normally do. So again, this budget schedule is going to feel a little accelerated because we had our budget set, and then along came this situation, and now our budgets are all changing, and we're all scrambling to make changes, and it's very, very important stuff. So again, I'm asking for the school committee to schedule an extra meeting for next Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30 p.m.
Motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to do that, May 19th at 5:30, online?
Yes, please.
Yes,
Second.
online.
Second.
Okay. Tom Mills is a motion and Mr. Phelps is a second. We'll go with Emily. Is
Yes.
Mr. Mills,
Yes,
Mr. Phelps,
Yes.
and I am also, so that's a vote. Thanks, Dr. Cron.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
That's all you have. Okay. I just wanted to go backwards for a minute. I was going to talk about Spelman Oratorical when we went to the monthly reports and Dr. Harrison's report, and I wanted to say congratulations for those kids too. Talk about perseverance, right? They had to submit videos and all of this whole thing, totally different than what they're used to, and they still did it. So proud of them. So congratulations, and thanks to Ms. Cahill as well, like you're saying, and Dave Murphy Cable for helping them get it done and getting to enjoy that and not missing it. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And thank you for your advice, Dr. Cron, to pick something. I'm not sure what my thing will be, but I will work on that. I will figure out my thing.
Need a trombone, I have an extra.
Okay.
I
I don't know. In 6 months, that still might be pretty shoddy.
have a
Thank you.
trumpet.
Mr. Mills has a trumpet. I have drums. My kids are drummers, so maybe we could make a band.
There you go.
I can start the drums. We'll move on to reports. We have monthly reports for March and April. The administrators for Dr. Harrison and Ms. Bond, and the nurse report, Mrs. Ryan.
Okay.
I have
Motion-
two motions.
Two motions to approve.
Second.
Mr. Phelps, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Mills and Ms. Davidson and I, so that's a vote. Thank you.
Right.
School newsletters for May, we have Eston Memorial Park, the middle school, and the Rockland High School. I will say that the newsletters were just as colorful as before. It is exciting to see that nothing has really changed except for that we're not home, but the things that are still happening and things like that are still coming through. And I think it's encouraging and exciting to still see that the students are still going along and persevering. That seems to be my word tonight.
Yeah.
Do we need to, we don't vote on the
No,
newsletters. We're
no.
moving on to financial reports for March for Rogers Middle School activities.
Motion to
And-
approve. Motion to approve.
Thank
Second.
you. A second. And
Second.
we'll do, Mr. Phelps said yes. Mr. Mills?
Yes.
And Ms. Davidson said yes too.
Yes.
That's 4. Thank you, guys. Monthly reports for January and February. We have the Dean's report with Mr. Damon and English report with Mrs. Cook. Do we have a motion to approve the reports?
Motion to approve those three reports. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll wake up yet.
And Mr. Phelps, you said second?
Yes.
Okay. And Emily, you're saying yes as well?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all 4 of us, and that's a vote, thank you. All right, moving on to old business. Request for approval of the 2020-2021 Rockland High School Student Handbook,
Motion.
second reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll stop roll calling. We seem to do
Okay.
better without it. And then next would be FY20 budget. I'm gonna combine the FY20 budget with the FY21 budget so they can just talk all the way through, okay? So it
Thank you.
would be old business and we'll start right into new business as well. Dr. Cron, or is it Ms. Hackett that's taking it?
I'm going to start.
Okay,
Anyway, so as you know, we have an FY20 budget that takes us up to July 1, and then we have an FY21 budget, which is for next year. We've attacked this financial problem by looking at what we needed to do to complete FY20 with a balanced budget. We've forecasted a nearly $1.4 million shortfall. We've gone through two rounds of furloughs. Nearly 151 employees have been furloughed. Some very, very careful accounting work done by Jane Hackett and Colleen Forlizzi. We've done a lot of collaborating with Town Hall, with Biz, our town accountant. We've collaborated with our union, and we're working day to day with our principals every day, working with our principals and with Linda Maniglia, our student services director. And we have come up with a plan between the furloughs and the other work to finish out FY20 with a balanced budget. So I'd like to congratulate Jane and Colleen again for their hard work on making that happen, and for all of the supports that have gone into keeping the ship afloat during this very difficult time. Moving on to FY21, I guess I need to first say that everyone needs to understand how rapidly this situation is changing. And at the same time, it's changing quickly, but at the same time, not a lot of information is coming out. So we are waiting for numbers from the state, and what we're hearing is speculation. And what's being thrown around right now is the 10% number, that we are to expect essentially a 10% cut in local aid. When we factor out what a 10% cut looks like in local aid on the town level, and then we looked at it together with the town and what that means for the schools, we then have to come up with a plan and a budget that will balance even with a 10% cut. It's devastating, but it's real, and it's a financial crisis that every business and school district in the Commonwealth and in the country is facing right now. And I'm just grateful that we are facing it with the schools and the town together. We are facing it with the union and the schools working together, and all at the same time. I got to tell you, I've had nothing but incredible support from the community. I thank the parents and the students for your support throughout the last, I've just been told now it's been almost 2 months of this insanity. And I just want to thank you every day. I get supportive messages from the community, from parents, from kids, and I appreciate it, and it makes a big difference. So with the request that I made for an extra meeting next Tuesday, by that time, I will have a presentation for a balanced budget to offer to the school committee, and it will reflect the 10% cut from the town. So I don't know if any school committee members, if you have any questions for me at this time, or if there's anything that I could clarify more, or Jane, if there's anything that you would like to add.
No.
I don't think I have any questions. I think you usually reach out, but I think we'll sort of let you guys do your numbers and get your
Yeah.
things together. And
that's what we've been doing. We met
Right.
today with each principal individually. We will continue to meet with the principals. We've met with Linda Maniglia being a part of it. Special education is a big part of everything that we do in this district. So she's been right here with us during these meetings. We have very difficult decisions to make coming up, but we will do everything we can to protect every classroom teacher position. We will do everything we can to provide the students of Rockland with as robust an education as possible. At the same time, we have to understand and recognize that we are in an economic crisis, the likes of which we have never seen in our lifetime, perhaps, and that we need to communicate with one another the way we're doing and be honest with one another, and that's what we've been doing. And I think we're doing as well as can be expected given the horrible circumstances. We've been communicating with our local political representation as well, Representative Keenan and Representative DeCoste, and staying in touch with them to try to get an idea of what's going on at the State House. Again, I think the same kinds of frantic conversations are happening on the state level. And again, what we're hearing thrown around is this minimum of 10%. So that's the number from which we're working, and that we will create a budget that will meet that reduction. That's all I have.
Josh, I just wanted to say that hopefully you will continue to support our administration. These are very, very difficult times for any administrator to see what they have worked for and built over the past several years. And all of a sudden it's, I won't say it's going to be decimated, but it's going to be a real tough pill to swallow. And they need to be congratulated for all the hard and suppressing type of work that they are involved in now to try to come up with the best scenario for kids.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough work, and these budget cuts. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just what the circumstances are providing us with, and we just have to keep on working at it. And I appreciate your hard work. Thank you.
I think it's worth pointing out that we were in such a great financial state, probably in record history for Rockland, with 1.6 million coming from the state, the brand new school passed, and things were sort of rolling so well. And then all of this happened, to try to keep in mind that this was no one's particular fault, that it's a medical pandemic, and unfortunately we're dealt these cards to deal with. I agree with Dr. Cron. We will do our best to keep the school as whole as possible. That's our goal. We like the family that we've created. We like how Rockland Public Schools is rolling. And, that is part of our job, as well as worrying about the budget. I do feel like we're in good hands dealing with the town side of things. I hate to say sides, but that's sort of how it is. But I do feel like we are having great conversations with them. We do have a great team working together, and that is positive, I think. We're not sort of in a great spot, but I do think that we have great people that are working for us to get us to rolling forward, and hopefully in a positive way. So I thank you. I thank Colleen in the office and everyone, Jane, for everyone doing what they can every single day. I know you are every single day working on this, so I appreciate that too. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay, thanks, Dr. Cron. Thanks, Jane. Moving on to the request for approval of the 2020 and 2021 Rogers Middle School Student Handbook. We were going to do a first reading.
The only question I have a question. The only change I saw is the grading for the Ds.
D-. Didn't they add
D-,
D-?
okay.
Mhm.
I just make a motion to waive the first reading and go right on to the second reading.
I second that motion.
Okay, we normally do a first reading so that people can come in and sort of read through it, but we think that at this point, no one's going to be able to come in and do it. So I agree with that, with waiving the first reading. So we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's
And
all
I
four of us.
I'll make a motion to accept the handbook as changed.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mills. We have a motion. Do we have, and Mr. Phelps seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's all four of us.
Yep.
So that's all we have for the agenda. We'll move on to public service announcements. We'll start with our very own Ms. Gear.
Remote learning has been going very well. The guidance department and the teachers have been communicating with us and just letting us know that they're there when we need help, which has been awesome. The teachers have been getting really creative with their online teaching. My teacher set up like a little virtual classroom, so you can go in and it looks like a classroom, but you can click on things and it can bring you to assignments, and she embedded a video in the classroom. It was really cool. So they've been just trying to keep it fun and interesting for us. All of this seniors have a Zoom meeting with Dr. Harrison set up to talk about any questions they might have and talk about like how they want their name pronounced at graduation and just odds and ends like that. And he also wants to make sure that students are on track to finish the school year strong. The seniors' last day of classes are next Wednesday on May 20th, which means there's only 6 days left, which is crazy. And there is a Facebook page that a senior mom made, and it's called Adopt a Senior. And I think it's really interesting. So like parents can go on and post their child and be like, this is my kid, write a little bio about them. And someone from the community can go and say, oh, I'd like to adopt them, and send them like a little gift to cheer them up. So this is my gift
Yeah.
today from our very own Miss Maroney. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It really brightened my day. It's just so awesome to be part of such a caring community. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be able to adopt you. You're already, I don't hope I don't get the college bills. That's my only fear of adopting. But I think it was exciting to be able to adopt you. I think that you're awesome on here with us, and it was just a natural thing for me. So I'm excited to be able to spoil you from here on. I wonder what I have in mind for the next little gift that will get dropped off.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question. Do we have a graduation procedure set up yet?
We have a draft, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
And moving on to Miss Davidson. Who's Davidson? Last week I called her Harrison because we were
That's
talking
okay.
about Dr. Harrison, that I continued on with that.
I updated my Zoom name.
Thank you.
I would just like to, I know I'm a few days late, but wish everyone a happy Teacher Appreciation Day. I saw a lot of posts on social media, and it's just a big thank you to all the teachers, especially during this difficult time and on the unknown, especially 2 months of this. It's been a little crazy. Week 8 has really got to me. I'm hoping it's almost over. And that's all. Just stay healthy.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. Mills?
I'd like to go back to something that Dr. Cron talked about is for students. On my side, I have high school students that I'm working with and teaching and doing things like that. But I came across a couple in this past week where I called them like around 11:30 in the morning, and they were still in bed. And I guess what I'm saying is, try to keep to a schedule. Don't stay up all night, and and then you get some schoolwork done. And doing that. Just set a schedule to get up like a normal regular time, and proceed on as you can, the best you can with that. And don't hang in bed till all hours of the day. Get back into a regular schedule. That's let's see. Okay. That's about it. And everybody just be safe. Try your best at get your work done, and keep at it, and just work at it. That's all. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Mr. Mills. Mr. Phelps?
Well, I just wanted to, well, first of all, belated, wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. I thought that was a very special day for me, and I think most people. Secondly, congratulations to our kids. They've gotten through this rather unusual, phenomenal year in great fashion, I believe. It's not over yet, but there will be hopefully some ceremony down the road for them. But they've done a magnificent job in representing us as school committee, representing us on a lot. Very, very proud of them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Phelps. Is he? Okay.
Yep.
I thought he got stuck. Thank you. On to myself. I wanted to thank Miss Gear, our very own, for being a frontline worker. She goes out when she has to go to work, and she is out in the public working and in sort of Germ's way. And I just wanted to say that we're proud of her for doing that. As a high school kid, to be able to go out and have the courage and to be brave enough to do that, I think that's something special. And I think that we should thank you for that. Everyone keeps thanking everyone around us, and you're right here with us. And I wanted to say thank you. Second, I have that there's 1 month left of homeschooling to all those parents. We've made it, like everyone keeps saying, 8 weeks, and we only have 4 to go. And I can agree with you, Miss Davidson. This week was a tough week. 8 weeks, I think, hit home that we're all still here. We are trying to keep a schedule, but I can tell you the Maroney childrens are getting a little cracky. So we have been trying to tally-ho and get outside and play when the sun is shining, but it's definitely starting to wear on us. I also wanted to thank all the people that we furloughed. I believe that all went well. I haven't heard anything negative. I hope that is all going still well. Their checks are coming in, and I just wanted to say thank you to them for letting that sort of work and being smooth and understanding where we stood with that. Election day is on June 20th. Temporarily or supposedly, the selectmen are going to vote on that next week, I think. So I just wanted to tell you to either send in your votes or get out and vote socially distance-wise. Mr. Garofalo isn't on with us tonight, but he has been kind enough to stay on with us for all these meetings. Jamie Hennessy is coming up behind him on election day, and I just wanted to thank the both of them for sort of sticking with us and getting us through these times. And then town meeting is scheduled on June 22nd, tentatively. We do have a school committee meeting scheduled that night, but we'll switch that coming up as well. And I think that's all I have. So thanks for everyone out there. Thanks to the kids and everyone, like I said, persevering to get through this. With that, I'll entertain a motion to end the
Motion
evening.
to adjourn.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Mr. Phelps said second. Emily's saying yes. All those in favor?
Aye, aye.
Aye.
Be safe.
Thank you. Be safe, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Aye.
Thank you.